the show by doing a little bragging. Over the weekend, my grandson, Mason, went from lower school to middle school. He graduated, and I flew to the graduation, and I realized that I had missed my daughter's graduation and my oldest granddaughter's graduation, and it knocked me out.
Because you didn't fly.
Because I didn't fly, and also because I was working and was busy because with the kid, you know, she's a little older. But it really brought me to tears that for the first time I was seeing one of my grandkids graduate.
But your daughter didn't just graduate. She graduated from what?
From high school.
Oh, at the time.
Yeah, at the time. You know, and I missed it because I was making a movie. And so it was pretty great. And he, you know, he was surrounded by all these little girls.
Because he's 11,
He's
12. 12. Okay, yeah, that's the age.
And
is he a hot kid?
He is a hot boy.
Yeah, all
and
the
these
girls.
little girls were like, well, I very much like Mason. And he was like, I could care less. It was just wonderful. So I just wanted to let you all know that.
Mason.
Yeah, and you guys,
but wait, the interesting thing is, because I said in passing that you flew, he said, now you are becoming a frequent flyer.
Yes.
I mean, they may medicate you, but you are going, girl. You are going.
That might be reason to fly alone.
Well, as it turns out, you know, you guys, this show is the real reason that this is all happening. Because you brought those folks over from, can I say the name of it? Virgin Air, to get me past that fear. And I have to tell you, it has opened up an entire, not only financial world that I had turned my back on, but a world with my family that I had been missing and didn't know it. So I just want to say to the cast and crew who were right behind me going, you can do this, you can do this, and to all of you, thank you so much.
We gave you liftoff.
Yes.
You gave me
Maybe you can talk to, you should talk to Miss Aretha, because you know Aretha Franklin doesn't fly either. Maybe you know Aretha Franklin doesn't fly.
I have to tell you, if I won't say the name of the airline because I know they always get freaked out, but that airline, if they would bring that program from London that they brought here to the United States, I tell you, if they can do it for me, they can do it for anyone.
It takes a virgin to do it. I'll say the airline name.
That should be part of their slogan. If they can do it for me, they can do it for anybody.
Or it takes a virgin to do it. Now, speaking of which, the battle between Sarah Palin and David Letterman continues over his joke about her 14-year-old daughter, and Palin had a lot to say on the Today Show about the impact of the joke. Take a look.
You issued a statement.
That's acceptable.
Governor, at the end of your statement, you said that a joke like this contributes to the atrociously high rate of sexual exploitation of minors by older men who use and abuse others. Now, it was a joke. It was probably, by most standards, in bad taste. But can you really connect the dots to criminal activity the way you did in that statement?
I connect the dots to a degrading statement made about young women, and that does contribute to some acceptance of abuse of young women.
You know, I have to say that I'm on her side this time. Not because I didn't think it was sort of okay, because comedians make jokes, but as a parent, as a mother, she's no dummy. She's going for the jugular, and I would too. I would too, as a mother. I would do it.
You remember
Not that I would run with her, with McCain against, you know, Obama if I were her. But in this case, I identify with her rage against anybody who says a sexually implying joke about her daughter.
Do you remember the last week's program? We said this. We said, you can say whatever you want to about me, but don't pick on my child.
Right. Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I think this is the way I do, and in that sense, I do think she's right. I think it is interesting that by making it, doing these programs, and she said other things as well, the strange thing is it making Letterman more popular? Is it making more people watch? What is the effect of her speaking out again and again?
It's a double-edged
and one more
sword,
thing, some people said that she should not keep doing it and she should let others pick up the cudgel.
I don't think when it comes to your own child that, you know, I think the best way to handle it is defend your own child. I think your child looks to you as a parent to speak up for them when they cannot. And I think that she did the right thing.
Maybe somebody else could, as she says, pick it up.
Well, I think other people have.
The National Organization of Women has been picking it up, and I think it's a double-edged sword, because there are those who think, you know what, the intent wasn't about Willow, and he didn't mean it, and those will still look at David Letterman, but there's a lot of women who might not because of what Palin said.
By the way, she went on to say, and I thought this was an interesting point, she said it's not just the National Organization of Women, but why don't male groups also stand up?
Well, let's get broader then. You know, let's get broader. If this is really a concern of ours, let's take a look at our advertising, and let's take a look at the kinds of things that we're seeing on television. I mean, if we're really going, if she's going to make that connection, I thought that connection was extremely thin. You know, I would have preferred that she said, you apologize to my daughter right now, because you had no business speaking about her for any reason. You don't know her, she's not your kid, apologize. But when you then tie that into an acceptance of sexual perversity among young men, old men and young women, I thought it was a huge stretch, given that every fourth billboard on the highway has some woman like this.
I guess it concerns me too. I get your point, Whoopi. I understand what you're saying, and I don't think that, you know, I don't think she was necessarily picking and choosing. I think what she's saying is we're seeing a lot of that, and that women are affected by that. We say we're affected by advertising. Young girls are affected by this, and I think to in any way enable someone to make these comments, and I don't think we have, thankfully, such as David Letterman's, I think that it's wrong, and I think that because there is a face behind what was said, you know, you see those advertisements, it's really hard to pinpoint the person who actually created it and put it out there. David Letterman, by his own lips and words,
he made a mistake. He stepped over the line.
Right.
But he's now being blamed for all sexual perversity. No, he didn't contribute. He made a mistake. There's a contributing is Hustler magazine. That's a contributing. There's a difference.
Contributing to the notion that it's acceptable for people to go that far into meeting women.
But
I think it contributes.
What I was saying, and I'll reiterate in a way, is like, she's a mother who's upset and mad, so she's going to go for the jugular. Yes. She's going to go where it really will hurt him. That's all. That's what this is about.
Demeaning women,
it's not
you know,
like it's an overall thing.
I do. I think he's a social commentator, right?
Who is? Letterman?
No, he's a comic. He's a comedian.
Do people listen to him and hear what he says, and does he affect people? I would say yes. I think there's responsibility there.
There's also a room for a sense of humor also in all of this discussion. You know?
Well, that's what people should rise up and say, is that's not funny. What I'm taking a little bit of, I'm taken aback by this connection to male perversity and young women, when he is not the issue. The issue is what we have said, and young women's, and how women look at themselves. You know, we've all been guilty of that, including Madam Palin. Because, you know, when she talked, I think I showed you a long time ago when she was talking about Hillary, saying, you know, she sort of was feeling a little overwhelmed by how people were dealing with her. And Sarah Palin said, well, get over it. You know, it's one of those things. We've all done that. We've all demeaned each other. So maybe the idea is to keep our eyes open and just kind of say, hey.
I look at it still and go, I see what your intent is, but let's not get it wrong. They are both getting so much publicity from this. Even Sarah Palin is getting a lot of publicity for this. So is it that she's going after the jugular because she's a mother, or, you know, this is really putting her back in the forefront?
I don't think this is not intentional. She didn't intend for someone.
Yes, I think she did. That is
really?
I think what we had said and what you have said, which is she's standing.
Again, the kids get screwed.
She's standing up for her child. I think we probably all think good for her.
Yeah.
Now she's taken it to the next step, and it's given her a cause. And it may be a very good cause, as Whoopi points out. It may be a very good thing to look at the overall kind of thing it's going to do. I'm not sure it's going to change all our advertising and all our programs and all the bikinis and so forth. But she has broadened it. It is, in the final analysis, brings more attention to David Letterman and does give her something else to talk about.
Because you had stopped hearing about Sarah Palin for a minute.
She's not excited. I'm sure she's not excited at the opportunity to capitalize on a moment where her daughter was attacked by someone publicly. I'm sure this is not part of her PR scheme.
Elizabeth, let's not forget the point that she put the kids out there. She puts them out there. That's just making. I'm making several points here. Elizabeth,
you think she put them out there? All the presidential kids are out there.
She put all her kids out there.
How does she put them out there?
By joining her, like every
presidential
politician.
Can't understand you. Can't understand what you're saying.
Every single presidential candidate has their kids with them.
That's right. And if someone had made a joke about a pregnant Obama daughter, we'd be just as offended.
They would have.
We'd be just as offended. So it's one of those things. That is the part that's offended.
Let's not eliminate everything else.
She didn't cause this. This is not her fault for bringing her kids with her when she's working.
No, it's just a factor. An amazing thing back with us. We're going to bring back Barbara's sense of humor. We'll be right back.